Were the students not a...
Yeah, I'm mad at them.
Я поясню, в чем прикол. Этот вариант, что мы концовку предпоследнюю открываем, мы выбрали там, где найти другую работу, и все. И после этого почалась именно ця концовка. Типа, як... То есть любой выбор він уже не поменять, потому что мы уже отправились в академию, встретились и с Кавером, и зараз мы у порт Месси, типа, так сказать.
The students are all here hoping for a quick... If your client is unhappy, you know all of this just as well as I do. Why lie to them?
Look, Kave, you may deny it all you want, but it's a fact that in today's our clients care very little for the effort we pour into our...
I suppose that's...
Why should we cling on to a profession that's difficult and unrewarding? If the field is dying, then a person who still wants... If it's near impossible to make...
Wait, how does that make any sense? Aren't you just leading them into the same...
We are already stuck, my friend. The more... That's right. Making money as an architect is slow and agonizing. None of the students will ever know, however. In there, the more students I get, the more money I earn.
And then what? Once they graduate, they'll still find out the truth about architecture and struggle to stay afloat amid... When that happens, your facade will pop like a...
Ah, but that's just one way to look at the problem. No two people have the same amount of talent. Even if they fail. Oh, and also, I never actually promised that they would achieve financial freedom as long as they become... I'm not even scared if they do come back and stir up trouble. My training center has all the required...
You... How can you sleep at night knowing that you're doing all this? Tell me, I can't believe that I once saw you as a decent human being.
And the same goes to you. How many years? Only fools will see art as revered and sacred. In the end, I urge you to think about what I've said. As the light of the Sharawa, you've accumulated plenty of faith. Think it over, Kave. I'm
so mad, I feel a headache coming on. There's no... Of course. I'm sure you've realized that as long as I remained at this center, he would be able to use my name to advertise this place. Even if I just sit back and do nothing, others will be deceived and suffer because of me. He is right about one thing, though. These kinds of training centers are everywhere. And even if the academia was to find out about it, it's unlikely that they would take any real action against it. The most that they could accuse him of is false Oh? Did you notice something else? Yeah. The rate he gave me was 300,000 mora per lecture. If you're gambling everything on making it rich as an architect, right. We should hurry. We're never going to get any information.
Thanks.
Oh, Mr. Kave?
Class finished a while ago, but you're still here.
I wanted to stay for a little longer. I'm still thinking about everything you taught during the class. Even though a lot of it went right over my...
Of course they were. All the examples I drew were world-famous landmarks. It's a good thing that you could recognize them for their beauty. The accumulation of knowledge is the first step to artistic expression, instead of rote memorization.
Resin?
Yes. When I first got into architecture, there were many things about it that I couldn't understand at all. I would find a build, and for most people, just being able to admire a building is enough. To become a good architect, however, going from admiration to assessment will take a lot of time and specialized knowledge, and I'm afraid that some superficial...
Just as I thought. Becoming an architect...
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to crush your dreams. All I want to tell you...
I understand. Thank you for telling me the truth, Mr. Kave. Sorry. I can't say anything more. Mr. Okami made...
Don't listen to him. I am the most famous architect in Sumeru. If he kicks you out, then I'll just...
Really?
Why would I pull your leg? I can see you have some talent. So as long as you get your fundamentals down...
Then please keep this a secret for me, Mr. Kave. Mr. Okami was the one who reached out to my parents. He told them that he knew a merchant by the name of Bahar and that we could get He told all the students that once we graduate, people would come flocking to commission us for projects. If everything went well, we'd be able...
How much did your family
I think it was...
And what was the interest rate?
I'm not really sure. My parents were the ones who signed the contract.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling too. We need to find that merchant to confirm. But if we were to confront him right now, there's a good idea. Hey, tell me.
We last saw him on the north shore of Port Ormos.
Well, it'd still be worth taking a look. Architecture... No, we need to do something before the students' lives are...
Так, ну, короче, Каверу предложили поработать на курсах. Він, как би, ось согласився перед цим. Теперь уже некогда понял всю правду оцю. Ха-ха-ха. До сюжетки мы дойдем. Все-таки мы сегодня, я выполняю задания ежедневные, плюс схожу на дракона. А, здесь не відкрита оця штука или відкрита, я не можу понять. Вроде бы не відкрита. Да, ее треба активировать все.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you guys before. Here for business?
You're Fahar, right?
Yes. May I ask?
Alkami. My friend here wants to enroll in his architecture class, but they're a bit short on money. Alkami told us you're the man to go to in this kind of situation.
Oh, sounds like his business is booming. How much do you need?
Let me see.
Oof. You call that a bit short on money? Anyway, since you're here because of Alkami, I can work things out for you. Make sure you sign the here you go. Don't worry, there's nothing particularly unusual.
And what if they won't be able to...
What do you mean, won't be able to pay it back? Once you graduate from Alkami's place, you'll be making millions of mora. And even if you were to run into some difficulties and need to delay the installments, it's no big deal. We're all reasonable people here. If you can't, it's hard work running a business. If we're taking risks to supply you with mora, it's only fair that... Anyway, there's no point in tying yourself in knots over the contract. With the way you're reading every single line, it's like you're worried you're about to get scammed out of your whole life savings. Why would I lie to you?
I just did some calculations in my head. When you say the interest will get a lit... Of course, the contract did a great job of trying to obfuscate that fact. It only listed the amount that you'll have to repay every day, which gives... If you actually do the math, however, it's clear that the amount you need to pay on interest alone will amount to hundreds of thousands of mora per year. Most people, even my creditor, doesn't dare to raise rates that high. Once a family's signed on to a scheme like this, there's no getting out.
What are you trying to say, huh? I figured something was off when two well-dressed people came looking for a loan. Think you got the better of me? Too many people are sticking their noses where they don't belong these days. Luckily for me, though, this is a pretty secluded spot.
Eremites? I've already fought off more than my fair share of them. There are only a few of them, so they shouldn't pose much of a threat. Marak? Following orders.
Feeling
Scanning.
lucky today.
Huh? Propagate! Germinate! Everybody stand back! Yeah!
Tidal wave. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Take one.
Такс.
Who are you and what do you... I don't think we've done anything to hurt or offend you.
Debt has the power to upend your whole life. But my debts are the culmination of many different factors, and my interest rate is still somewhat reasonable. But these students are different. They have neither the mental preparation. You sold the dreams of becoming an architect to the students as bait, urging them to take on
Ha! Everyone knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. And if we're going to talk about greed, aren't those students the ones who are blinded by it?
Ha! And here comes the silver tongue. Surely you use that. People grow by learning. Let's head back to the academia and turn this guy over to the mantra. They should be able to link him with Alkami's business. Sino? Didn't think I would run into you here.
My vacation just ended not too long ago, so I'm going over some cases at the academia. Who's this? I see. Charging an interest rate over 30% indeed constitutes a crime. As it is highly likely that Alkami is also benefiting from this scheme, the Matra will open an investigation on him as well. The training center will be closed until further notice. Any funds we manage to recover from the suspects will be returned to the students. It's unclear how much we'll be able to get back, however, given their extravagant spending.
That should still be enough. Once the students realize the error of their ways, they won't fall so easily for such traps in the future. Anyway, thank you for your help. I hope this won't be too much trouble for you.
It's no trouble. Just another day at work. How did you two get tangled up in this anyway?
Так, продолжаем.
Did you accept any mora from him?
He promised to pay me 300,000 mora per lecture, but I resigned as soon as I finished the first session. I didn't...
Ah, that's good.
Hmm? What do you mean, that's good? Would you have taken me into...
I wouldn't have gone that far. But, had he insisted that you were also an active participant in his schemes, either way though, I believe you are innocent in all of this. Had you actually been alright with making money through less than noble means...
Hey, what was that? What do you mean my life is a mess?
Never mind.
You're just messing with me now.
Let's get back to business. If Alkami's case can be successfully resolved, you'll be eligible for a monetary...
Huh. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I never would have guessed. What I'm trying to say is that we didn't report Alkami because we thought we could make some more off of it.
The reward will be given regardless of your personal motivations. It was implemented with the intent of encouraging...
Fine.
Is there anything else?
I want to go back to the training center one more time.
Sure. But you should wait until tomorrow. My subordinates will shut down the center today.
All right. Then I'll stay out of their way.
I have a few other things to take care of, so I'll be off for now. If you want to follow up on this case, just come find me again. Or ask one...
That should finally be the end of that. Oh, who would have thought it would turn out? To think Alkami would sink this low. Still, I think I feel a little... It's a little ironic, but you could say it's because I've realized that there are many circumstances in the world that are even worse than my... How should I put it? I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to my... The arguments are usually extremely frustrating. And every once in a while, I'd wonder if I only became... Alkami's suggestion would have allowed me to quit my life as an architect and earn money solely from my reputation. But now that I've experienced... Every scholar has their own sense of pride. Just speaking for myself, though, I don't think that's something I'd ever be able to do. If I stopped devoting everything to my creative activities, I'd be able to lead a more comfortable life. But at the same time, at that point, any materialistic ease I may have gained in life would just become another form of torment. I appreciate it. You may call me conceited for this, but I would also like to think I'm talented. It's certainly not easy, but I want to... My thanks again for being such a great help throughout all of this. I'm planning to... All right, see you tomorrow then.
Такс. Нам надо С пройти еще. Ладно, пройдем. Отвечаю. Так, и что тут у нас? Задание легенд. Ага. Угу. Такс. 8 утра надо дождатись. Угу. Угу. Так, ага, отметка. Угу. А, точно, як обычно, я не так. Вот сюда надобно. Угу. Угу.
Mr. Okami was a scammer.
The training center has been shut down, and the Matra have promised to return some of our tuition. But we've already spent so much time on this class. What should we do next?
Mr. Kave said we can keep working on our fundamentals and try to get into the academia.
Easier said than done. If it was only the best of the best can get into the academia studying...
Mr. Kave might...
Why? What reason?
So...
Huh?
Now, that's Mr. Kave to you. I'll keep instructing you for a while longer. You can pass on the message to the other students. As long as someone wants to come... Oh, also, I'm usually pretty busy, so I'll only be able to teach architecture fundamentals on my days off. Another disclaimer, architecture is not an easy profession. Aesthetics aside, even the basics of safe design can already be a handful for most people. If you want to design safe buildings, you'll have to go through a systematic study of... And just as a heads up, all of this will be a huge step up from the superficial stuff you were learning before. It'll take both talent and perseverance.
We'll try our best.
It seems some... All right, everyone, pack your stuff up. No need to prepare much for today's class. We're going to go on a quick... You'll know once we get there. Come on, let's get going. We'll be off once everyone's grabbed...
Такс. Угу.
This lighthouse has been around for a long time, and I handled its renovations when I first... The point of today is not so much about the lighthouse as a building. I just want you to take a look at it and do a bit of self-reflection. If you were tasked today with designing a build, don't think about how you'd actually go about building it for now. Just put your ideas to paper. And
so, it can be...
Yep, as long as you think it'd look good. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a building. If you want, you can draw a tree. In my experience, it's best to approach the study of architecture from a point of personal interest. Both the study and practice of architectural design are extremely difficult. A person who's forced to work on projects that... So at least for today, I hope the students will be able to create something that they enjoy. There's no need to think about it too hard. What do you think? Want to try your hand at it as well? Don't forget that this is a free class from Mr. Kave, the light of the Kasharawar, on a...
Такс. Чайник безмятежности, зашибись, так сказать. Ага, у кого-то там домик я вижу. Ага. Ну что ж. Я заберусь ща на городи за це ж. Такс. У мене, чтобы вы понимали, сейчас где-то около 10 тисяч камней стока. Тобто це означає, що на наступному обновлений где-то, потому что на второй части баннера я крутить не буду все-таки Тарталью. Я думала его крутить, но нет. Потому что, во-первых, я тоді потрачу все камни истока, плюс у меня еще и круток нету. Где-то приблизительно, я даже скажу, когда воно там 7 дней еще ждать надо, чтобы закончилось. Плюс пропуск вот этот боевой я куплю позже, уже как бы немножко позже, где-то так на початку вересня, ну где-то там куплю оце до числа 10-го як минимум. Так, теперь, я хотела же задание изначально виконати. От із Кавігом встреча дуже цікава і мені сподобалось, якщо чесно. Тобто, якщо буде ще і з ним плюс, как би, якісь там задання легенди, то вообще супер буде. Так. Так. Предлагаю сейчас тоді пойти выполнять эти задания реально ежедневные. Потом посмотрим, еще и события, чтобы Беннета выбыть. Угу. Угу. Я выберу, наверное, уже не Инадзуму, а Манштадт все-таки. Угу. Угу. Я даже сейчас поставлю.
Don't we have a job to do?
Такс. Ні, в Інадзумі дуже цікаві задання, но я хочу в Манштате пройти ежедневно, потому что у нас достижения есть, типа, что надо что там, типа, 5 раз нужно пройти якусь там миссию. Это надо еще посмотреть, типа, яку именно, там одна миссия, там 2 миссии, там, типа, Виктор кто-то и еще кто-то. Так, где? Ага, я вижу, где це одне. Нам надо обойти от этих самураев. Угу. Так, и быстро бежим. Угу. Такс. Надо подлечиться. И можно будет выконывать это задание. Угу. Угу. Все. Так, а что это за задание? А, ну вот, я ж сказала, потому хорошо, что мы подлечились. Такс. Но я, конечно, хотела бы найти оці дендроэлектрокулы, но я тут их вообще не вижу. Вот реально мне обидно, потому что я не знаю, где здесь оці электрокулы. А мне надо 8 штук, кажется, или 7.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Lights out.
You're mine.
You can't run.
Riptide.
Judgment.
Угу. Все. И последнее. Ага. И последнее виконаємо. Потім йдемо на дракончика обов'язково. По нам надо ж собирати деталі на це все. Там 44 штуки надо теперь. Нам, по-моему, 2 использовали. О, вот сундук. А.
Spring forth! Let's light it up! Just be gone! You can't run!
You can run, but you can't hide.
Surging transgression!
You're mine.
Так. Все. А вот здесь, если честно, я не знаю, что здесь делать с этими мечами. О. Может, тут где-то есть этот... як його... Так, стоп. Ай, а где? А где здесь оці самураї? Дуже дивно. Ой. А что не так? Ага. Тут буде сундук, нам дадуть чудесно. Так, обычный сундук, ага. Вот только я не понимаю, что мне делать с тем надо сундуком, который вот там, вот тут где-то вин. Может, где тут как-то по-своему, типа, ладно. А, стоп, а сколько дней осталось? 26. Я встигну за 26 дней 50-й левел добыть. Где-то это будет 15-14 вересня, что я добуду. Как бы це все, что мне надо. Легко. Так, смотрим. Нам надо мы еще получим награду. Ну, на дракона я не знаю, если честно, идти или не идти сегодня. Ладно, один разок можно сходить. По нам потом придется ходить долго и нудно на него. А хотя, может, и потом. Типа после сюжетки уже. Як сюжетка у мене закончиться, то... Угу. Так, стоп. Там же отметка у мене. Так, так. Угу. Угу. Так, что мне сподобалось больше? Хотя, давайте. Угу. Стоп, это тут где-то. Ага. Да, блин. А, задание ж. Угу. 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 Такс. Так, что тут новенькое добавлять? Встретив пару игрушечных зеленых слаймов, одновременно зажмите кнопки обоих направлений, чтобы нанести удар с обеих сторон. Только так можно поразить парных зеленых слаймов. Ага, а ну-ка. Угу. Я поняла. Угу. Тут уже сложнее. Угу. Чудесно. И получается, мы получаем вот это ж, ну, 12 дней. Да там уже и смысла делать нечего, так сказать. Угу. Такс. А ну-ка. Угу. Такс. Угу. Угу. Все, вот так мы сделали. А что еще? Угу. Нам треба закончить оцю миссию. Так. И, возможно, мы продолжим сюжетку. Все-таки уже пора, так сказать. Угу. Так, теперь можно переходить, в принципе. А хотя нет, давайте не будем спешить. Я хочу сундуки пособирать немножечко, так сказать. Да, я хочу пособирать сундуки, чтобы уже нарешті фонтана цей відкрити. Хоча б 10, ну 10 это вряд ли я сделаю, но хотя бы 8 нагород відкрити, это ще реально. У мене печатей... Так, давайте посчитаем вместе. 150 это уже 5 получается. 186. 210 это 7. 240. Так это уже 8. Ну, тоді можно, в принципе, відкрити. Но мы сейчас давайте пошукаем. Может, мы найдем еще, типа, як сундуки какие-то. Ну, вот оцей сундук, я хочу его відкрити, но я не знаю як. Тут как-то так сделано, что, типа, если я ударю так, то потом... Типа, имеется в виду, что тут надо быстро это делать. А желтых этих штук тут рядом нету. Тільки то, что вот там в том цветке. Я не знаю, як вони тут хочуть, щоб ми оце успівали. Не знаю. Стоп. Стоп. А почему она не меняет цвет? Она ж не меняет, как бы. может тут как-то оно по-другому делается. Сейчас посмотрим. Не. Значит, надо будет шукать вот это. Так, а где тут скаты вот все? Так, вот там я вижу сундук. Это вот все, что закрыты эти стенками. Да. Я не знаю, як тут вони хочуть, щоб я оце доставала. Ага. Может, реально тут имеется в виду, что надо как-то... Ага. Сверху тільки є проходи. Вот почему нема такого. Так, надо подумать тоді. Пошукать. Так, испытания. А, нет. Не то, что мне надобно. Такс. А тут... Ага, тут нема прохода. Такс. Угу. Да я вообще в замешательстве, потому что, ну, типа, сундуков шукать. Ну, я пытаюсь. Честно и пречестно, я пытаюсь. Стоп, а? Так. Угу. А это что тут за барьер такой? Я не могу попасть. А вот и скат. А, там фея. Стоп, там фея. Угу. А, там надо трофеи нужнее. Я нет, или да. 2 или же 3. Так, мы в правильном направлении були. Не тут эта фея. Стопы. Ага, вот фея. И где она? Так, а где фея? Да уж. А, вона вже там. Вона вже там. Все. Угу. Угу. Я поняла, что делать. Угу. Так, ну-ка. И барьер спадаем. Activation. Ну. И... Что мы в итоге получаем? Сундук. Тем более роскошный сундук. Ну что ж. Раз уж мы там все пройшли, я предлагаю тоді тепешнуться до фонтана. Просто нам дадут там ключик от усыпальницы, и мы как бы, получается, получим еще плюс 5 печатей, как минимум. Так что все очень-очень хорошо. Так. Ну, ладно, 250 у нас. Там 240, это чтобы 8 штук собрать. Ага. Ну, тут нагороды такие вот, я скажу вам, суперские. Угу. Такс. Угу, я ж казала, один ключ ми получим. Дали 2 обычные, 2 синих. Но это надо 150 насобирать знову. Мы знаем, где є усипальниці. Як варіант. Надо тільки понять, чи ми їх відкривали хоч одну или нет. А я не помню, в чому весь прикол. Бо я знаю, що вот здесь була усипальниця якась. Давайте откроем ту, что мы видели. Так, и приступим к сюжетке, так сказать. Так, стопы. Я немножко, чтобы сейчас не пропустить. Ага, я вижу. И сундук я вижу. Ага. Или то не сундук. Не сундук, как я того думала. А нет, сундук. А, 10 печатей, так сразу. Хоп. И вже их 20. Насколько я поняла, так ведь? Да, 20 печатей. Две синих крутки, уже 5. Чудесно. Может, тоді відкриємо? Та ні. Там уже, ну, это надо 5 печатей, просто дендро собрать еще плюс. А я даже не знаю, где там их шукать. Я могу пошукать, в принципе, як такий вот вариант. Да, я могу пошукать. Стопы. А я гудоцу. 10 минералов еще не собранных. Просто прикол в том, что я не знаю, как бы, где у нас все испытания, типа, як в Сумеру. Там надо всего лишь 5 печатей. Ага. Угу. Ну вот и все. Теперь ищи. Не хватило. Ладно. Давайте тоді отправимся в Сумеру и подумаем, где у нас... мы ж в пустыне не особо-то хуляли, понимаете, в чем весь прикол. И от этого рукаша надо еще посмотреть. Короче, у мене впущено дуже много всего тут. Вот в лесу мы нашли, в принципе, все сундуки, почти які мы могли найти на виду. Где это мы? Нет, тут испытаний нету. Мне надо вниз. В смысле? Я щось просто недопоняла немножко, возможно. Я вообще недопонимаю сейчас. Где мои любимые от это? Ото. А-та-та. Не, ну возможно мы и найдем что-то. По мне нужны именно испытания. Так, там огонек. Нет, там дерево. О. Так. Смотрим на низ. Он и сундук есть. Еще один сундук. Так, давайте иди до отого сундука, а потом до того. Потом я вижу еще и фея, вроде бы як. Это надо ловить оцих. Ну, давайте попробуем словить. И вот тут эту штуку можно ж менять. Сейчас. Сумка. Ну, давайте. Я поняла. Нам надо переставить вот туда. Угу. Так, теперь посмотрим. Да, мы можем. Все. Вот в чем вся проблемка теперь. Ага. Теперь я поняла. Стопы. Ага, всі три у мене. Так, две печати есть. Я бачила ще один сундук, вроді би як на той стороні. Поясню, в чем прикол. Так, и там у нас... Стоп, сундук раз, сундук два. Но я далеко ж не продвину. І вот там ще один сундук. Стоп, там який сундук? Там обичний. Ну, обичний, то пофігу. Мы сейчас як сундуками запасемся здесь. Угу. А ну-ка, баха... А, стоп, зеленый сундук. Блин, зеленый. А вот тот сундук. Потом я вижу фея. О, роскошный сундук. О, тут обычный сундук.
Let's light it up! Adventure time!
Propagate!
You can't run!
Teamwork is strength! You can run, but you can't hide. Tidal wave.
Так.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Угу. Мы були там внизу, мы тепешались, просто я не поняла, что мы почти что типа як внизу. Ага. 3 феи надобно. Надеюсь, у нас не будут пулять эти цветочки. Вроде бы не. А, там еще сундук есть. Хм. Ага, он де фея. И тут же где-то в нас и огонек. А, он, да. Такс. Угу. Ага, так и думала. Такс. Угу.
There are a few interesting trinkets here.
Ага, 4 печати. И вот там еще сундук.
Judgment! Punishment! Germinate! Let's light it up! Propagate! You can't run!
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Judgment! Let's light it up! Shiver! Yeah! Scatter!
You're mine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't run! Everybody stand back! Ha! Judgment!
Tidal wave. Yeah. Amateur mistake.
Punishment! You can't run!
Все, сундук наш, вот этот.
Even better than I imagined. It's my lucky day.
Угу. Так, теперь. Надо, чтобы Тарталя подлечился. Потом уже мы пойдем сейчас забирать нагороду нашу. 35 плюс 35. 70. 70 плюс 35. Это 105. Это только 3 нагороды, а не 5. Чтобы 5 забрать, надо больше. Типа. Мы пока заберем 3 хотя бы, давайте. Так, где тут? Ага. Такс. То 105, там другой, там не электро у нас 25. Так что 5 нагород это 125 надо нас собирать. Ага. Ну что ж. Ну, якраз таки, якби ми ще дві, то ми б достали б от этот, якраз таки, дві крутки, а так, ладно. Ладно, пошлите тоді пока місця по Фортнейту погуляємо. Так, 12-14. Где-то в час я буду, или в час 30 заканчивать. Так что, как-то так.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malou.
Excuse me, miss.
Oh.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rusula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt,
but aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring...
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't... On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more...
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe...
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into... He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought... So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great... Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man. So why did he have to do a bad...
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a really...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the...
Thank you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is...
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure...
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty up. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash but when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques. Or a third...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he's... But hold on. If that's what had happened, he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. And chose instead... Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his...
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been...
I understand. Then I'll leave... And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect.
Don't worry. I will You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth.
It's just like teachers.
No one's joined me on an adventure in ages. Come on!
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia?
Oh, so you've got...
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I...
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't...
I mean, where I work is really up to... Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from the ground up, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-pay... Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these...
Ah, yes. These two... What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something...
Then you think too highly of my ability. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps, so I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your... I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me.
Mhm. Такс и...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can... Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera...
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans...
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can...
Oh. And what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus saw. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, if anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into... Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is... The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest...
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more.
Sounds good. Just let me know. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes.
I'll just treat them as new samples.
Off we go.
А, вот там ступеньки. Сейчас.
Adventure time.
Ну, смотрите, тут він уже проколовся тим, що він в состоянии как бы оплатить все. То есть він мог нанять цих жандармов, типа як, и тем более его не было на банкете.
We talked to all three suspects, purely based on their...
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
В смысле?
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation is all that's needed to... Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no... If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back... Makes sense. But without evidence that, besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering... It's obvious that has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead?
Given everything that's happened since, it's... But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the but I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also...
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a lot. Still really hard for me to imagine, though. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own... Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals...
So you're saying he's too broke to afford him?
Exactly. He can't. And... You know, if you think everything through, Uncle...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the...
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so new?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui Harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that...
Yeah, we know him. Maybe...
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had...
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the...
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder.
I understand. Well, Huh? Split up? What do you mean?
Just as expected of my... Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help you, just like you help.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get...
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson, and it's our hope that you're confident...
Thank you so much. Then, let's make...
See you then!
Такс.
Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance.
Такс. Скорее всего... Да, я так и думала.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel. In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that. I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
None.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal...
That case had nothing to do with him. Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well...
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any... We can put the discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit, and if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default.
Oh, A young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
Такс.
Marcel, the head of confrérie of Cap... Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Ros...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Commit, and if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this...
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on... Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney.
Apologies. It all just happened so quick. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charge.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we...
Navia, do you really think that I was... Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember both you and I... If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second... The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to... These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques... in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, however, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from...
Такс.
Something's not right. This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead. The testimony of the victim's family, however, In the end, he reconsidered. And unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already
Так, ну будем так делать, потому что долго и нудно. Це вот
A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques, but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene. And that they were... Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective...
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a
but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, 1, do you have the evidence to back up your claim?
I'm afraid not. At least...
Boo! If you don't...
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes, again, we should be able to find a map. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would...
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person...
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is... My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward... What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on...
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only... Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were... But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect... Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? Spina di Rosula. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our... I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more... And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say... you...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to... But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell...
So... During the duel, did you
Yes, as a champion duelist, I've fought many battles, and taken a countless number of dishonored lives in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live, or if they're looking to... I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended...
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case...
Right? What she said was fascinating, but...
Wait, weren't they just talking about the
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter... In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were... Coincidentally, Marcel attended...
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most
No need to appeal to pain.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor?
Know what you can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell...
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap you. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived, but the disappearances began...
I do apologize, Demoiselle. This...
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the... You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends, could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable...
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accused.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations? He wished for you to become more rational once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings and to stop rushing headlong into things. You'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearance. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you... Is it a man named Vache?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know...
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name...
I was waiting for you to say...
Такс. Ага. Тут типа отряд можно менять.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Riptide. You're mine. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Let's light it up! Propagate! Judgment!
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place.
Так, сундук.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Так. Ага. Угу. А, это типа воду поднимает. Отлично. Но надо еще так. Ну не совсем. Угу. А тут уже богатый сундук.
Who's next? You can run, but you can't hide.
Let's light it up. You can't run. You can't run. Never.
Tidal wave.
Угу.
Scatter. Let's light it up. Everybody stand. Judgment.
Riptide.
Угу. Так, сейчас. Ага. Так, мне в сумке это не надо, поэтому ща. Угу. Угу.
Lights out. Yeah. Let's light it up. Spring forth. Propagate. You can't run. I'm going in.
You can run, but you can't hide. No time to lose.
Off we go.
Riptide.
Punishment. Yeah. Let's light it up. Ha! Everybody stand back.
Угу.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry. Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Callus, Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and this should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only... I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all... Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappeared? And then they... And all the boxes of things. These names... What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. How can someone write something that terrible and you read the rest? Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vacher is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vacher was no victim. But no, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface? In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Так, стоп.
If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminate...
А, еще.
Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the water. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's... We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our... Yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals... No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is, that way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. Paimon won't admit to... You take that side, and Paimon will take this side. Check everything carefully. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? What Paimon see? Vinier. Isn't that Vache's? Then you found her. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. So many! A whole page's worth! The final name she decided... Marcel! Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long? Hey!
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Oh, so you do know that.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly...
I was waiting for you to say...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just...
Just how often do you intend to flap...
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence... But the truth of Marcel is that you
destroyed all records of your past as...
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performance. And with that, Marcel's motive... This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing. Well, Marcel... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying it. So, you never noticed how we changed.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for...
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination?
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise...
Do you really think I won't pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Your beloved drama. Vinier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she... But I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't be dissolved.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I did all of that. And in the end, I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his...
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please...
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need... Vignere, please, Vignere! Don't think badly of me.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that...
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignere back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their... Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murders, and just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of... Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearance. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away. Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearance...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite...
Yippee! We have Navia! He's hurt so many innocent people and... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy.
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way.
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has any...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charge. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse, guilty.
В смысле?
Hey! That's not funny! What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine...
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, Guards, please take the suspect into...
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
На этом сюжетка походу и закончится, пока первая половина. Скорее всего.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the concept, all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this...
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect... Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had...
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed and... Of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by everything he's done. Not to mention the danger he poses. All shall be revealed in time. You will come to Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did...
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that... However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been in...
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over...
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another...
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever—
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like—
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's—
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than—
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just— Very well.
Your Honor,
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about—
In that case—
Thank you. Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot?
Vache.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you—
Vinier, it's me! It's me!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vin—
Hey, wait! Be careful!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you come? You look a lot old.
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered all this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else matters. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get— Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without—
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off with— If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the art. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. It's all because of your selfishness.
Wait, you are not Vinier.
You're right. I am not Vinier. I am every woman who died by your hand. As our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses, our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no longer— I'm Cressy. I'm Lemon. The only one I am not.
Why? But then—
She doesn't want to see you anymore. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you— You are a liar. The only thing you are not. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but—
No! Vinier!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vinier. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her— She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you. Vache. Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to...
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon.
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these...
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the...
So his name's definitely been cleared now.
It's been the dearest...
That blasted stubborn fool. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, she was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound
Now that's another...
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clorand gave testimony. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clorand was...
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps... Oh, actually, there's some...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth. And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too!
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather...
Yeah, you're right. It's been...
Такс.
This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Nervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the...
In that case, I will...
You really could use some pointers on a... In any case.
Well, ever since that day, there was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there... Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe human... Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fate. I believed that a truly innocent man wouldn't... But Mr. Callis proved me utterly. If not for his sacrifice, Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter. And in the end, a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. This regret has filled me with a sadness. That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful.
Sorry about that.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait until after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there? Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there.
Такс. Но это еще не вся сюжетка. Мы еще и с Архонтом как бы не пообщались толком.
It's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to...
We ran into Navia on the street.
I see.
Well,
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine. And it... My apologies. However, I still believe the judgment of the
But you also said you thought he was...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of... Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses... Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to... While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that if we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Lenny that told us back then.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum.
But with Farina...
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vache and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater with most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea.
So it really...
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient...
So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly revert? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its... Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Your sibling. Another blonde-haired traveler. If he ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure he followed our laws to the letter. And had... Is there anything else?
Да, все, уже мы все испытали.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answer. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off. And so justice...
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Угу. Продолжение следует. Имеется в виду, что... Стопы. Ага, мы поговорили. Еще не все. Я поняла. Ой, не так. Не так. Угу. Стопы. Это как бы что? Это... Да, сюжетки нету, все. Сюжетка буде потім уже після виходу, наверное, першого. Це 4.1 або 4.2. Це одно із двох. Так, и нам теперь доступно задание легенд еще плюс. Предлагаю открыть и получить ключик. Угу. На этом я, пожалуй, пока буду стрим заканчивать. Так что до скорой встречи. Всем удачи. Пока-пока. Увидимся в скором времени.